My teachers always referred to me as, oh, he's visual spatial, or he's got a visual spatial mind.
The hell does that mean? That sounds. Is that like a backhanded compliment? Or all right. So I guess let's just get started. Um, I guess I have done this before technically, but fuck it. I did it in just audio. So this is my first time doing like a video podcast, broadcast, YouTube channel, whatever um, people may call it. Um, the show is called How to Copy and Steal. Um, and the goal of what I'm trying to do here is um, just share my thoughts and process about creative thinking and creative problem solving. And this starts by just like having other like-minded creatives come on the podcast with me, um, and basically just share their ideas. My whole theory is there is no such thing as an original idea. Um, Picasso says, good artists copy, great artists steal. And he wasn't even the first person to say a quote similar to that. There's been others that have said it before within specific like realms, whether that be just poetry or just different types of artists in general. Um, but yeah, just there's no such thing as an original idea. And like we're standing on the shoulders of giants. And if you want to learn how to be creative, it starts by like copying and figuring out how other people do what they do.
It's also such a great way to learn, like just mimicking.
We're looking
over
this
here.
way.
All right. It's like learning how someone else does something so that you can repeat the steps and see if it feels good for you. And then once you're comfortable doing those series of steps, then you can just take it into your own flavor and modify it to suit your needs.
Exactly. And that is how like I think that's what true people think about as like that's what creativity, and some people think that's like something they can never achieve, but we just stated it like we only achieved it by copying stuff. Like
It's just connecting dots.
yeah.
It's just seeing, oh, there's this thing over here and there's this thing I learned over here. How can I put them together to create something that benefits me or someone else or brand or client or whatever?
Yeah, finding patterns. Which leads me, I mean, my first guest today is one of my best friends, someone I admire truly. This guy is creative through like to the bone. Like he just lives a creative lifestyle through and through, creating on a nonstop basis. Um, and honestly, I don't understand how you think the way you think sometimes. But I love it and I admire it. Um, and just so raw. This is Alex Wilson, one of my college best
Thank you.
friends, my brother. Shit, I've interned with it. I mean, this guy's been my intern before. Like, shit, like it's yeah.
It's been a long story.
There we go. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
A little about myself. Well, I feel like I've always kind of thought of myself as a creative person, creative individual. My teachers always referred to me as, oh, he's visual spatial, or he's got a visual spatial mind.
The hell does that mean? That sounds. Is that like a backhanded compliment? Or he's a
I think
visual
it might have
spatial
been,
child.
because there were definitely some things in school that I abhorred doing and just avoided at all costs. And I think that was a friendly way of saying, oh, well, he's really good at doing these things, and we can see that clearly. But Oh, that's maybe why he does takes 4 times as long as all the other kids to do these other things. But I grew up in a household where creativity was fostered at a early age, and the older I grow, the more I realize how fortunate I am to have had that experience. Um, because it blows my mind that people do grow up without that, with creativity stifled, with
Yeah.
creativity shunned, is what I heard someone say the other day.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's even like it's just seen as like a very like it's ballsy. Like it's scary like when you come from like I guess for me like a person of color like we grew up thinking that you want to be a doctor, lawyer, one of those things that are just solid that is always going to exist and everybody's doing that. So to like go into creativity, it's just like, damn, you're taking a big chance. Like, why are you even doing like I've had cousins tell me like, bro, you should just do construction, like you'll make good money, or bro, you should just become a cop, like you'll make good money. And I'm just like, nah, like I like what I'm doing here. I like the process. I love design thinking. But no, like your experience is unique in the fact that your father was a designer. Like he had a business. How how much did that affect you? Like how much did you see him work? Did you see him interact with clients? Did you see him pull all-nighters? Um, were you witness to any of those things?
Well, so he did have a home office for as long as I can remember.
Hey, he was head of the trend.
He also was an early adopter to the Macintosh computers, which made it easier than ever make to do desktop publishing at home without the need of a huge office space. So he's always had a home office, and that, I guess, opened my eyes to the kind of work that he was doing on a regular basis. I guess a lot more than what many children get to witness their parents working on. But yeah, he would work. He would be his own boss, and he would hire interns from time to time.
That's
So I
awesome.
would see an intern come and work on a certain project for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Um, and they would, when I was growing up, we had a back door, a storm door back entrance that would be his business entrance. So
Yeah.
he made up little signs that
That's dope.
advertised, and there was, I think, a special doorbell and an intercom
I didn't
even.
know about all that. Like, I think I remember seeing like the craft. Like, he started the craft creative. Correct me. Or he
No,
had the word craft in his business. No.
no, his business was Wilson Design.
Okay. Okay. You just did craft then.
I started
So then it
craft.
was just all your stuff that I saw in the basement. Then. Okay.
Well, so that was his home. That was the remainder of his home
I feel you.
studio. Once I grew to the age where I needed or I could use a space like that,
Mhm.
he allowed me to use half of his basement studio space. Which so he had 2 desks set up down there, and
Yeah.
one was for a bookkeeper that he hired to come in and um, take care of that because he was never good
Bro,
at
I
it, and
had
that's something I'm
no
never good at.
idea your father literally like was fully like running. Like, that's dope to like just like witness the fact that it's like possible. Like, he's running a business. Like, he's doing this in the house. Like, you're seeing him hire people. Like, that's
I guess I never really at that age, at the ages that I saw it, I wasn't thinking of it as, oh, he's hiring these people. I just like, oh, it's just some other person. I just saw it as another person that's coming
yeah.
to work on a project or something. But it was definitely nice having him around, much more than a parent that would be going to an office for the
Yeah.
majority of their time. Um,
Did he ever involve you in any projects? Like, I used to have a coworker. Her father was a producer, and he would like involve her in songs, and like sometimes like she would like point out songs to me. That was my little voice as like an 8-year old. Like,
Um, from what I can remember, not that much. Uh, it's like I would see him working on certain projects from time to time, and then see the final result he would share with us. Um, but I
How were those? Were those like family critiques? Like, oh, this fucking sucks, dad. Like,
no, no, it was always stuff that I was impressed by. But I don't think I ever could appreciate how much time and energy went into it at that age.
yeah,
Like, I wasn't really seeing, oh, this is how it looked when he first got the brief.
yeah.
This is what it looked like when he was late for dinner that time,
hmm Do you wish you can
because he
go
was halfway
back
through or
in
something.
time with the brain that you have now to like understand that stuff? Like how sometimes like you rewatch a movie that you saw as a child and you're like, wait, this is fucked up. Like, why did I like this? Or like, do you wish you could go back in time to like just view his project or view his work with what you call sometimes the designer's curse?
Oh, absolutely. I would love to see what I could. I mean, but how different is that from any kind of nostalgia or reminiscing?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it'd be fun to go back and do that, and I feel like I may understand things differently than I
Yeah.
did, but also I don't think it would change anything going forward.
So
Um, yeah, it wouldn't change how much respect I have for the work that he did.
I feel you. I guess my story pretty similar. Like I had creative parents. They weren't like in the field creative. I mean, my father, he went to LaGuardia High School. So I don't know if you know LaGuardia High School from New York City. Like New York City has like specialized high schools like Stuyvesant, um, Bronx Science, Brooklyn Tech. Have you ever heard of these schools where you have to
I
take like specialized tests to get into?
I have heard of him. I that was always interesting to me because
Yeah.
that was not something that that I had as an option growing up. But hearing about it, it got me thinking. Oh, I would have really enjoyed going to a specialized high school for art or for design or something.
Yeah. So my dad actually he got into LaGuardia for drawing, and like he had to draw like to get in there. He had to pass a couple of tests, and he was really good at still life. Sadly, my dad dropped out of high school, but that's where I feel like I mean, while I never really grew up and saw him do much art, like I knew he was capable of paying attention to detail. Like I've seen him like make things for his cars and like very similar to the way that you customize your vehicles. I saw my dad doing that without a vinyl cutter, like
Mm-hmm.
without a laser cutter. He was taking a blow dryer with some vinyl
Mm-hmm.
and just like,
It's awesome.
getting it super hot, going in there with an X-Acto blade, not even a
Totally.
blade, like a regular blade, like a box cutter blade, and just like super detailed, like more detailed than the average Joe would do. And I would always like ask him, like, oh, come on, you don't do this for work. Why? Like,
It's witnessing that laser focus,
hmm
the concentration, the focused attention,
yeah,
and there's something to be respected about that, and just kind of be in awe from when you're at a young age witnessing someone you look up to doing something with such great detail,
hmm
such great um, I don't know, devotion to the craft of it.
yeah.
And just seeing someone who's like is good at and especially if the results are good
Exactly.
and pay
Like they
off.
they would almost always look like, oh, you bought it from the shop like that. And people would ask him like, would you do that for me? Like little things. And he would start off small, like just like blackouting all the chrome additions to something. He would just like black out it. Then he found Plasti Dip and he started doing Plasti Dip,
Cool.
bringing it inside the house, control their environment, trying to make sure there's no specks and little things. Um, but yeah, that was from his side. From my mom's side, she loved like event decorations. I would see my mom creating invitations for events and like playing around with paper types, and she would have all these different textured papers, all different colors, and she would create these centerpieces and things along those lines. So at that, I was very privy to seeing my mom do that a lot, and that was just her side hustle. Like, and it was just straight out of hobby, straight out of love. Like no one, like she was doing these things like, yeah, I'll do your son's birthday. Yeah, I'll do your like out of the kindness of her heart, not
Mm-hmm.
because it sounds like it's fucking fun to do. Like, another one I told her you should be doing this as a full-time job, but that's a project of mine to slowly get my parents to hopefully express more of their creative selves.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see if I can start buying them some tools and seeing if like my mom's always expressed like wanting to write a book. So like how could I make that easier for her? Actually, her birthday is
Right.
tomorrow.
Mm.
So happy birthday, Mom. This is my gift to you.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. There you go. Happy birthday. No, I'm
Happy
not gonna do it. I wouldn't make you sing that. What's up?
I was just thinking. Another thing that I just was thinking about was the entrepreneurial nature of the what the entrepreneurial nature of what you're doing and what I'm doing on my own. I feel like that was also fostered at an early age, and I'm curious if that was true for you too. Like I guess when you were talking about your mother, I was thinking about how there were some ways that my mother fostered creativity, but also entrepreneurial
Yeah.
thoughts and plans,
I,
planning.
I would say I don't know if it was like the sole contributor to that. I would honestly say like me coming into the startup world really
Definitely.
drove that. Like it brought it down to real life for me where I was like, I can do this.
You have the power to make these things happen.
Exactly. Like
And if a small team can do it, then what's the smallest team than one?
Bro, fucking
So
the
small.
company remember Zoom? I'm still working for them on contract now. What's up, Zoom? They just acquired a company called Enjoy HQ, another research company. Their software looks fucking amazing. Like I'll show you. Actually, fuck it. I'll just pull up their site right now. So this company, a place where research lives. Just look at this site, so put together. Like their product screenshots look reminiscent of this.
Man. Oh, that shadow. Go back to those shadows.
Which one?
Like that button right there.
Oh.
Just the way that it looks like it's I don't know, a foot off of the page, kind of like the way that
just coming to you.
It's not a normal drop shadow. It just makes me. It stands out to me more than just your average drop shadow on a button.
How big do you think this company is?
I mean, I'm gonna guess small because it looks big, and you're right. It's a trick question.
Yeah, it's 5 people.
But,
let me just
wow, like just and the way that they're showing those logos in a monotone,
bro. Like it's just so much attention to detail for a 5-person team. But yeah, that just goes back to like what you were saying. Let's do this shot. But yeah, no, that just goes back to what you were saying. I could
stare at this for an hour.
I'm pretty sure like they are cutting corners where they can. That I mean, I would be surprised if this was all bespoke. But I don't know. I've been proven wrong before. Like if this is all bespoke, like fuck, like shit, like for a 5-person team. Fuck, and supposedly they're like a husband and wife team. Fuck, like give them an award or something.
I think they found the right programmer.
Yeah. All right. So what were we chatting about? I guess
entrepreneur.
Yeah. I guess we can shift over to a topic just today, some news, something very heavy on us. Um, let's turn this way actually for this one, and then after this we'll go over there. Um, but first, I don't even know how to say this or even how to start this. But we had a mentor of ours and our professor pass away this week, Mark Fertig, and I just wanted to just start just pay homage to him. Uh, Mark, he probably one of the best, or if not the best professor I've ever had. Best teacher, best mentor. Um, I think I think I reached out to him at some point. I'm sad that didn't reach out to him more, but yeah, I told him that I wouldn't be where I am at all without his teachings, without his knowledge. Um, I he set the tone for the rest of my career, I would say. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I
I would agree.
yeah,
I
Alex,
I
you can.
I felt when I was giving it more thought, when I was just thinking about Mark and his impact on my life, um, I just I realized that my youth, my family, my father um, taught me creativity, but Mark taught me polish and excellence and um, drive and
Yeah,
just the refinement that I needed to get where I am today.
yeah. No, I would say for me, the things I learned from him were truly design thinking, how to come up with ideas from scratch. Um, I found it super fascinating, like the way that he structured our program. First off, like the first thing that I found super fascinating was like when first meeting him and just like feeling his presence in the room and just how much of a straight shooter he was. And me as a kid from New York City coming to PA and seeing that, I felt like, all right, I can trust this guy
Mm-hmm.
because I can trust it. Like I can see he's wearing his emotions on his sleeve. Like this is him. He told us he was like straight up like this is not for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he gives a spiel to everybody. He was like, I will let you know if this is not for you
Mm-hmm.
before I will
Before
let
you
you know
waste too
when,
much
yeah,
time.
before you waste too much time and you have to like spend more time in college to make the
Yeah.
credits.
Yep.
Like who else fucking says some shit like that? You get me? Like I'll let you know.
The realest of the real.
Like and just the little things like fucking I remember him telling us like no other class matters but mine.
Right.
Like
Yeah. Now that you say that, that vividly, I hear
yeah,
vividly about. I hear that him saying that in my head.
like
No other class should matter other than these. And looking back, those are the only classes I really wanted to care about.
mhm. Like the only other classes that stick with me are like classes that I chose to take in senior year when I was like, oh, I could take whatever the fuck I want. Like I'll take astronomy and physics. I'll take conspiracy theory films. Like fuck yeah. Um, but like who else says that? Like, and not only would he say that, but like he would take action upon that. Like he would mean it. And to be honest, like I guess what would you say? Like you would say it was like 50-50 around campus in terms of like general public opinion from professors on him.
People either loved him or hated him.
Yeah.
And it
Um,
was because he was,
him fuck himself.
yeah.
Like you couldn't just like there was no front. There was no he wasn't afraid to call you on your shit.
Mm-hmm.
He was just way undervalued for the quality talent that he was spitting out of this fucking university. Like we
Yeah.
got kids at fucking Pixar,
Mm-hmm.
the kid that made Monsters University,
Mm-hmm.
the kid who made the emblem for the university went graduated from our class and took elements from our school emblem and put them in the Monsters University emblem, with others as well that are, way more recognizable, like, Stanford, Harvard, all those other ones. But yeah, I forgot like what little element. I think he may have showed it to us, or she may have like stopped by and like had a presentation with us or something.
I remember part of that presentation.
Yeah. But no, like Mark would go above and beyond in telling us this. Like I remember one time he taught us how to write papers in not Illustrator, not Photoshop, the one I hate,
InDesign.
InDesign. Um, he taught us how to write papers in InDesign and how to make a paragraph look like a page.
Yeah, how to change the spacing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone would do that
Make the
to
margins
print their
tighter.
papers. It's just like, fuck it. Like we do less work, especially when it's like projects that are done by page. Like, it's a 10-page paper.
I would always switch my font to Courier New at the end.
Yeah.
Because that is a monospaced letter.
What did you start with though? Like
I started
that'd be so fucked. Like you'd have to start with something similar to Courier New.
Oh no, I would start with like something normal, so it seemed like I was writing a lot.
Okay.
So it felt like I wasn't. It didn't look like I was writing a lot, and then at the end I would switch it and see whether or not I still needed to keep writing.
That sounds like a lot of work.
A lot of work, or it just
You just had them queued up on Windows, just copy paste.
What do you mean? No, I would just do select all.
Oh, okay, okay.
Change the font, but yeah, that saved me so many times, that font option. Thank you, Courier New. Thank you. It's because each letter takes up the same width.
Yeah.
So like an L would take up the same amount of space as an O.
Yeah. Actually, I think what's the fun fact is like all coding apps are done with monoscript fonts. All code needs to be monoscript because if you look at code without monoscript, like things, it won't read legibly. Like it'll be harder to find things.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
So I don't know. That's a random ass fact.
Fun fact of the day. There should be a button like.
Yeah, like a. Whoop. Oh wait, I might have something. I don't know if it's that one. I mean, what about this one?
We'll figure it out for episode 2.
Yeah,
gotta have fun fact button. An animation that pops up would be cool.
Oh yeah, I gotta trigger all these things. For now, I'm gonna just trigger all these things in post, like, comment, and subscribe to Copy and Steal, and to my homeboy over here, A. Wilson. We gotta get
Wilson with 5 N's.
With 5 N's.
Like Castaway. Wilson.
Insert Castaway scene here. What was I? Oh man, I lost my train of thought. Oh, one thing I wanted to say about Mark that I thought he also taught us very well was like the difference between art and design. And before I was talking about the way he structured the course, like the fact that we were taking drawing and like arts 101, and like even our drawing teacher, even though sometimes he was a little questionable, in terms like he was just a weird guy sometimes, but just his analogies sometimes, like I remember one time he blew my fucking mind where he was just like, drawing is all about seeing. Like, how well do you see?
Mm-hmm.
And it took me a while to like understand the concept, and it wasn't until we did the project where we like cover our hand and just like look at the object and just draw what we see. And then when you're done, when you think you're done, like you uncover it to see what you did.
Mm-hmm.
And I just started to realize how important that was. Like, as I was seeing these shapes in my head, I was trying to like map the general size of what I saw to what I was drawing, and like build a universe of like, this is this small, so that means this is this big.
A reference point.
Yeah,
Building
exactly.
A reference point off. I think those were blind contour drawings.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are my least favorite. Because
bro, those just is fun. Like, I feel like that's like a good like drinking game, like a good icebreaker.
They should be brought back.
Yeah,
yes.
We should bring it back. We should do blind contours with someone in the studio one day.
What? Oh, studio here. Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be cool. That'd be fun.
Just
Yeah.
do like a challenge, just set up all the
Just
cameras.
have like an easel.
Yeah.
Just do it live.
Oh, we could just do it on the whiteboard.
You're right. The whiteboard would be.
Just one at a time. Just put them on the spot.
Right. That sounds like a fun game
the
show.
fuck are you playing? What the fuck are you drawing? Oh no, guess what I'm drawing? There you go. And it's a blind contour. But shit, how do we? Because like they would have to be blindfolded in order to not see what they're like. We have to see what they're drawing. We'll figure this out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out in post. We got this.
Insert idea later. But yeah, I feel like he taught us the difference between artists and designers, and how art is an expression of yourself and design is an expression of a client using your artistic abilities. And
I forgot about. I don't remember that lesson.
Yeah,
that's so true.
Like there's just different. Like when you're doing art, you're expressing yourself. When you're doing design, you're expressing a client. And then when you get into UX and UI, holy shit, you're you're not expressing shit. You're trying to convey. You're trying to help someone get from point A to point B, and you're trying to not introduce any confusion as possible. You're trying to stay consistent.
You're trying to create a road.
Yeah.
That takes a user from here to here without getting them lost.
Building an experience. So yeah, those like those three realms of design, and he didn't really teach us about the third one, but he taught us so damn well about just design thinking that I was able to graduate and just like, oh, I could do this too. Like I just realized that people at the time were using Photoshop to do product design and using like have you ever messed around with layer comps in Photoshop?
I don't think so.
Oh man, God bless you. You didn't have to.
Maybe I know it by a different name.
Yeah, well, it's like it's basically it was like so in Photoshop, layer comps were like settings to turn on and off certain layers. So you can have a layer comp to show a certain image, a layer comp. So in this case, you would use it for like a layer comp for the home page, a layer comp for the menu page, similar to layers that you have in Adobe XD or Figma. Anyways, the moral of the story is I was able to just adapt and hop on over and just easily transition my skills. And then to what you said, what made me stand out amongst the crowd of other designers when I was just getting started was the expertise, like the idea of like the level of expertise that he instilled in us. Like the fact that we would join competitions, like design competitions, and it would be like, do like a magazine article and the centerfold like article, like a magazine cover and the centerfold article. And the article has to be like, sometimes it's 2 pages, sometimes it's 4 pages. Sometimes the projects were even like, you can choose what you want to do. Not for us. We would have to do 3 different versions of a magazine cover, 3 different versions of a centerfold spread. And not only that, print the bitch, assemble the bitch, make sure the bitch does not crack, make sure your ink isn't fucking separated, because he will violate your shit during critique. He would look at your shit like that was always my favorite. Like he was funny, bro. He had some jokes sometimes, like just commenting on people's designs, like, where is this person's arm? Like just like, does this person just not have an arm? Like just like you'll be there just heads
But that's
down.
what people really think. Like real world people are going to ask those questions, or that's how you prevent some mistake from being put out into the world.
Yeah.
In design or in a project.
Exactly. Like his whole like stand back and squint at it, like for poster designs, and like he had a lot of just analogies, and he taught us like the core concepts without like teaching us any fluff. Like I felt like we graduated with a solid grasp of design thinking, but no fluff. There was no like pre-programmed workflows in our head. There was no like, we were blank slates. Whatever company we were going to join, we were going to assimilate into their workflow and be able to execute and stand out amongst everybody else there. Because he didn't teach us how to export documents this way. Like, we had certain things, like certain rules, but like he didn't teach us like certain things that would
Didn't
have,
waste time teaching the
yeah, like that
wrong
would have like deterred
lessons.
us. Um, and I thank him so much for that. And I think for me, message I'm trying to convey today, and what I'm trying to convey out of doing this show is just he lives on through us, and I want him to
Yes,
live on
absolutely.
through this and through helping people and just figuring out. I want to showcase other creatives that you wouldn't necessarily think are in a specific like that you wouldn't think they're in a creative medium, like a firefighter, and figure out how does a firefighter be creative. Like, I'm sure there are some
Mm-hmm.
creative firefighters that solve some tricky problems when shit hits the line and they're in a burning apartment and they need
Mm-hmm.
to get from point A to point B, and it's just like, fuck, what can I do?
Or they're after fighting a certain fire, they come up with an idea. Well, this piece of equipment that I have, just has this flaw that I can't stand,
Mhm.
or like it's got this like thing that just isn't friendly to hold, or I'm gonna take it upon myself to make a different grip for it,
Yep.
or do
Or
try
not even make a different grip, just add my t-shirt to it so I have a
exactly.
better, that's
Yes,
creativity.
yes.
Like that
And people don't see that as creativity.
mm-mm. They don't realize that's a superpower.
Yeah.
They just take advantage of that. And there are a lot of people out there that are fucking like, they're talented, bro. Like and you'll see it in like third world countries where like people build whole homes out of garbage. That's fucking creativity. That's
Yes.
on like the massive scale. Like
Some of the homeless population has some really creative methods for transporting their all of their belongings on the back of a bike
not
on a
even all their
trailer.
belongings, sometimes their pets and shit.
Hmm.
Like fuck. Like
And
it's
it's inspiring sometimes.
sometimes it is, yeah. Sometimes it's like but no, that like little side tangent. Did I ever tell you about the time like there was a park near my old high school or near my old place, and we like went exploring and we found like a bum sanctuary where like they literally built like it looked like a floor plan. Like they were rooms and it was just built with like these metal plates, like these they were metal sheets like with the wiggles in them, with the
Wiggles.
almost like the like lay I'm not, this is not my forte. I'm not like it almost looks like
Sheets with
waves
wiggles
chips.
and lays.
Not waves, what are ruffles.
Okay.
Ruffles.
Hmm.
Okay, so imagine a square metal sheet with the texture of ruffles.
Okay.
So that's what they built like their place with. Like these things were like dug into the ground,
That
and
sounds like roofing, like tin roof.
yeah,
It's like
I guess that's what it
corrugated,
was.
like
And they literally had a whole fucking spot, bro. They had a bathroom. I knew it was bathroom because it was a whole bunch of tires with a lot of shit in the middle
oh
of it.
my god.
um, bro, we were just exploring. Like,
Where was this?
it was in the Bronx. Pugsley Creek.
That's
That's
crazy.
where it's called. And then I remember that like, they fenced that place off, and then we were like, never ever go back there.
Mm.
Back in my cool days, we tried to go smoke weed back there. It was the worst decision ever. Until we got caught by the cops and then realized why the cops were there in the first place, because we were surrounded by needles. Yeah. So we should have just looked down. um,
Hotbed for drugs.
yeah. Um, all right. What was left on the agenda? I wanted to talk about a topic, and I guess this is in relation to us talking about schooling and our education and just the way we've been inspired and just inspired. Yeah, that's the word. The way we've been influenced growing up to live these creative lifestyles. But a question I've had recently is, if you are coming into the design field today, any design field, whether that be physical mediums, welding, like every type of design, or even we can be more specific into terms of like digital design. Does it make sense to go to college for it? Does it make sense to put the money down and potentially put yourself
Take on
in?
that debt.
Yeah.
Is it worth going into debt for
Yeah.
anymore? Is that the gist of the question?
Yeah. I guess. Well,
How much
that's
debt is it worth?
how much debt is education worth?
Is design education?
Yeah, is design education worth? Like, I personally think, like, I wouldn't take my education back. Like, again, like it changed me, and I stumbled upon it. Like, that school chose me. They gave me the most financial aid. It just so happened that Mark was there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but now that I know, like, I would pay for my school again if that wasn't an option. I would try to take a crack at just learning these things myself. And I would hope that if I was a kid in today's generation, that I would be bright enough to notice the patterns and bright enough to notice that, like, the internet has has set a level change. Like, before, the barrier to entry to starting anything was who you knew.
Mm-hmm. Who you
Now
got
the
recommended
internet
by,
and
and
technology has just brought that barrier of entry all the way down. Everyone has a television in their pocket with the best camera, and
they
like,
can make content. They can make viral content just as easily as
as any
a
business.
production crew.
Hmm. And everything is substantial. Um, with all that being said, I feel like, if I had to choose today, if I was a kid and I knew this is what I wanted to do, content creation, design, I would forego college. I would I would hope that I'd be like infatuated and I would be on YouTube constantly, which I am now. But I would hope that if I was a kid now, like, I'd be using it as the tool that it is, and just learning things and just trying to spit shit out, and just because, and on top with today's like climate, like, it's fucking corona. Like, everyone is pretty much schooling inside now anyway, and we're
Mm-hmm.
realizing that a lot of our schooling is kind of a little jacked up. It's a lot of memory retention. Like, come on, people, memory retention doesn't matter anymore. Like, I think one teacher I used to love, he used to say this thing to us. He was like, like you could know the dictionary in and out and still be dumb. If you, like, in order to, like, creativity and like being smart is knowing the dictionary, but being able to write a beautiful story with all those words that you know.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't apply the knowledge, the things that you know, then
Mm-hmm.
why do you even know it in the first place? Like,
I see that. Yeah, that's exactly true. With um, sometimes getting caught up with buying all the tools you need,
yeah,
all the equipment,
yeah,
but not actually getting training in it, or
hmm,
not being confident in what you can do with it, or buying a bunch of instruments
hmm,
just because you can make music with it,
hmm,
but not knowing how to read music
exactly.
um, is going to stifle your potential.
Yeah, even though now there are ways to, for the music medium, I feel like there are ways to get away without reading it. Though,
Right?
if
Yes.
you were to
Yes.
read it, it would give you a different breadth and understanding of it. That it would allow you to approach problems differently because now you know how to read music. Um, Now these signs and symbols mean something to you, and
I just well, so recently I witnessed I witnessed someone, a musician. I experienced a musician, I guess. I don't know. I heard a musician. It felt more like an experience because he described himself as in his 20th year of mastery as a musician.
is he like 20 years old? And that's like the
Oh no, I think he was like I don't want to. He
no.
was he was older than
Wait,
me.
what's his name so I can search?
O- Ocho.
Ocho.
Ocho. Met him at the Live Ultimate
Okay.
retreat. Live Ultimate's great.
Go buy Live
Shout
Ultimate.
out Live Ultimate. Natural superfood.
This is perfect for me to use the footage of Brit. I'll slice that in there.
Perfect. But yeah, he was playing for us, and from his memory and just the way that he was describing, or he was talking about what key he was going to be playing in, and
Mhm.
it sounded like a joke in the way that he was describing the music, or the key that his next song was going to be in. But then he later explained that he was actually talking about like real music stuff that I have no idea
Yeah.
what it means. And I guess what I'm getting at is he was just so far a genius in music, um, that he's just able to create stuff that other people can't imagine.
Mhm.
And if you just learn a specific instrument and not know the language behind it, knowing the language behind, or the theory behind what makes music, and what makes music good, uh, gives you the tools to just change the game
Yeah.
and create. I don't know, I'm kind of losing train of
No,
thought.
no,
Sorry.
no. I feel you. It made me think of. Have you ever seen the show Rhythm and Flow on Netflix?
I have not.
It is. Think of it as like your typical like singing competition, like American Idol, The Voice, except it is the medium is rap. Um, and the goal of it, like at the end of it, you get an act, like you get money to yourself that is not tied to a contract, that's not tied to anything. Like you get $200,000 for yourself, and they designed the show like as towards the end, like the people who make it to the finals, like you get to do things that prepare you for the real world, like work with certain producers, make your own music video. Um, do your own concert and like design your own stage elements.
That sounds awesome.
So towards the end, like they do this, but everybody loved it because they showed how the sausage was made during the show. Like there were moments where like these producers were going at it with the rappers, and you would see them argue over these things, and then like the rapper wouldn't listen, and then that rapper would lose the competition, and you would hear why. Like you would hear like, oh, it's his cadence. Oh, like that what the guy was telling him. Like remember one time this guy like tried to change some guy's hook to his song. And the guy was like, "Nah, that's not my hook. Like, this is my hook." And it was just this song that he kept repeating. He got kicked out.
Mhm.
Like it was little things like that. There was one girl who made it to the finals who actually listened to the to the advice. And at the end of the day, like all the music they make during the show all gets produced. Like it's all on Spotify. Like
Wow.
and it all gets put on an album, so they get like royalties on that. It's a
Cool.
pretty dope show. But yeah, it just reminded me just because yeah, like knowing the art, like when you have that expertise, when you have that attention to detail, when you live and breathe something because you enjoy the process, you're able to think about it in different ways. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's to me where copy and steal comes from, because your mastery comes from like knowing how to reproduce certain techniques and knowing how something is made. You gotta know how the sausage is made
Mm-hmm.
in order to remix it. Yeah.
Right.
In
Right.
order to create something new, you have to know how it was built first. Um, you crawl,
Or at
walk,
least
run.
be curious enough that you like. I don't think you can remix stuff just taking something and then mashing it up, or like changing a little piece about it, um, without fully understand. I guess yeah, like this is reminding me of how I first learned Adobe Illustrator.
Mhm.
I was making these little fingerboards, tech deck finger shoes, these out of paper that I folded up. I was cutting them out with scissors.
Wait, it can stop real quick. Was this your inspiration for the LL Bean?
Yes, that's
Fire.
what inspired. Have you never heard the story
No, I don't think I
about how
have.
Okay, surprise! You've never. Okay, I have them at my room.
I've seen them.
Okay,
I don't think you ever told me the story
my
of
whole
them
like sell
though.
sheet and like little booklet of like
Little shoes for your tech
little
decks?
shoes. Yeah, like they're all in this little binder that was like crush proof.
You have pictures of this?
No,
No.
I can shoot you them.
Okay.
Yeah, we can pop it up on screen.
Yeah.
But so I was making these little tech deck paper shoes. Just this is what got my entrepreneur bug.
Yeah. Gary Vee would be proud.
But I was making them with colored pencil. I was in 6th grade and I was starting to get intrigued by skate culture and big puffy skate shoes. I saw kids walking around in the hallways. I just thought they were cool.
The Balenciagos? What, no?
No, they were like these big audios with like a big A on the side.
I don't think I've ever seen them.
Like Vans.
Okay.
Like
Vans.
big puffy skate shoes were just a fad. And then I liked the way it looked so much that I just started drawing it and then made it up into a little foldable paper shoe that was taped together that you could wear on your finger. And I started selling them for 50 cents a piece, a pair.
That's dope.
And I would carry them around in Altoids tins so that they wouldn't get crushed in your pocket.
Bro, this makes so much sense. Oh my God. There's like a whole Costco box of Altoids in his room. Like everything makes sense now.
So my dad was addicted to Altoids growing up. So we always had empty tins for little projects and
Did you dress them up like shoe boxes? Did you put like little
No,
stuffing paper in them?
I did
like,
not. I didn't do that until the LL Bean
okay.
remix. But I just started making a whole line of them. I came up with different designs. Or first, my dad witnessed me cutting them out, folding them up, taping them, coloring them by hand, and he thought, "Son, I can make." No, he would never say son. He'd always say,
Son.
That sounds weird. Like you could be doing this a lot. I can help you make this easier on yourself.
Yeah.
So he designed a template of the profile of the shoe, of like the whole die cut, so that I could just recolor the fields, the boxes, the shapes, and then make new designs from there, and then just print them out at the right scale, and then cut them out with scissors and tape them up, and I would crease them with my fingers, and that really sped up my production.
That was dope.
I was able to churn out a bunch of them, and I even had some friends walk around, or I printed out little booklets for them to take orders for me. I made these little spreadsheets.
I had my friends walking on their fingers all the time.
I made these little these Excel spreadsheets almost that had the different symbols that correlated with the line, like the actual folded up one that I had taped on.
You had a Toys R Us catalog for them.
Almost. He even set me up with like a template so that people could make their own custom colors because they were printed out individually. There wasn't like a setup fee. Like, oh, you got to order 20 of them, or you got to. It's just like I could just make one change to this design in Illustrator, change the color, and just print it out and make a one-off. Oh, that's a cool view. But now that I'm talking about this again, I recently shared them with another friend who was visiting, and it reminded me just of what I was thinking back at that age. But that's what sparked my interest in customizing things, making like one-offs, just because I could. I had the the tools to do so.
Yeah.
And so I was making 50 cents here and there, and I measured my success at that age with having enough coins to get something from the vending machine at the bus stop.
Bro, that's big money.
If I was able to get a soda or a bag of chips or something coming before walking up the long hill to my house, that was enough to feel like I was doing something
Yeah.
that it felt good, and it excited me about what I was accomplishing.
Yeah. No, bro, that's dope. That's not everyone gets that, man. That's something special. But what I will say is, though not everyone else gets that specific thing, like we're all inspired different ways. Like again, like creativity, like it doesn't come in one specific medium. It lives and breathes through everything we do, from falling asleep to, I don't know, like you don't got a step ladder to get it on the shelf. You take the chair.
You stack a few things together
Yeah.
that are stable enough.
Did I ever tell you the time I caught a hamster with peanut butter? But it
No.
wasn't even peanut butter. Like we didn't have peanut butter. All we had was Reese's Pieces. Not Reese's Pieces, Reese's Cups. So I ate the chocolate around the Reese's cup. I stacked some books to a bucket, and then I put the peanut butter in the middle of the bucket. And sure enough, we heard something drop. We saw a little dust bowl in there, and no more peanut butter.
Nice.
Yeah, I felt so bad. That was not my hamster. It was my cousin's hamster, I believe.
And he lost it?
I think
Or
we lost track of him, and then next thing you know, he was just somewhere in the house.
So that's how you were trying to catch him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like we were just doing
So you were
research.
making a mouse trap, but a hamster trap. Or...
Yeah, basically. I think we didn't even search what to do to find a hamster. We just asked if like, what do mice like, and then I think we were like, that's good, like,
Close enough,
right? That should work. But it worked. It worked, and he was definitely in places he shouldn't have been because he was fucked up. He looked like
dusty.
A little dust bunny. Any final thoughts? Any final things?
Did we fully cover that last topic? I think there was something I wanted to add.
Oh yeah, go for it. In terms of do you need education? Do you need you need to pay for education when achieving a career in design or in creative in general?
I think there's a lot of value in paying for something.
Mm-hmm.
Value in paying for something. Well, yeah. But
I think what you mean is like when you pay for something, it's perceived that you're getting more value with it.
Right. So you're more likely to show up.
Okay.
And give it your all and not skip it, not forget about it, or give it more time in your life. And I feel like the nights that I pulled all-nighters finishing projects that I felt so passionate about was a turning point in, I guess, my drive for excellence, for achieving something that was above and beyond, going the extra mile, like learning how to go the extra mile and seeing the value in it for yourself has so much value to those experiences that either force you to do it or push you. What's more like push it. Like Mark, I feel like Mark pushed us to go the extra mile. When he saw the extra mile in you, he pushed you towards it.
Yeah.
And pushed you to achieve. And I think it's more important than anything to find some kind of mentor like that. So
and sometimes he would even push us into failure. as well, like, and towards like learning. So I remember one time he
would
fucking
admit
made a
at like a,
last minute decision to my design. It was like, yeah, choose that, and
and
then
then at the
during
critique,
critique,
you'd
he
be
was
like,
like,
yeah, no, that was the wrong path.
yeah, I'm sorry. It's gonna get a B now. I was like, you fucking asshole. Why would you talk that out loud?
But you didn't
Like,
execute it the way that I thought you were gonna do it.
like, you fucking dick.
He would kind of be like an art director, though, in
Yeah.
like when he would walk around, or when we would ask him his opinion.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever had like an experience with an art director like that in the real world in terms of like the workforce. I did want to not take something back, but further elaborate. You said something that like made me realize, and this is a point that I've brought up before. So for me personally, I would not go to college if I was going to pursue design today. That said, that's because I know the way I like to learn, which is to have fun, enjoy the process of something, and recreate it, and then see how I can use that for my own stuff. And I just look at tutorials. Like I built this whole
Mhm.
workflow that we're seeing here just by on YouTube.
Mhm.
But that said, I think what's
It's
important is knowing how you learn best.
mhm.
If you need the accountability, maybe school, maybe paying for school is the right thing. But there are also other workarounds to that. Like sometimes people need accountability from certain others, from others that they respect. Like there's ways of creating accountability for yourself in your life that doesn't require putting yourself in financial debt. Like
Right. Yeah.
like that's not the only option, but some people do need that. But don't be surprised when you're paying for someone to send you to YouTube links.
Mhm.
Like they're basically, I feel like a lot of school is like it's aggregation. Like the knowledge is all out there, and it's just like, how do we aggregate it for you so that you best learn it? Um, and I think if you start off by like trying to see like others in the space or others doing something similar to what you want to do, and try to mentor, or even just like treat them as mentors, even though you don't even get to meet them. You get me? Like learn from like YouTube is a search engine. Like I can name off channels right now that like I go to. So like Future with Chris Doe. Why am I I'm gonna insert name later, but something about like just record now. It's with a T. I'm forgetting the name, but Future, um, Peter McKinnon, MKBHD, all these guys, like there's so many teachers on YouTube for any given subject that you want to learn. Um, and yeah, I just think it's how you learn best. Yeah, go ahead.
So, um, now I'm realizing the most important thing that I see is being able to dedicate hours, time. Because if you go right into trying to um, have a life, I mean, like, um, I don't know, move out of your parents' house,
Mhm.
or um, buy a car, or like, I don't know, just time without distractions. Like, sorry, I'm like, I had it so clear in my mind for a second,
It's
and
all
then
good.
it's gone. Um, I think going going away to a school
Mhm.
gives you the time that has less distractions, or less
Perceived less
not
distractions
distract
that aren't like jumping into the real world
yeah,
right
like
away.
that's really what I mean. Thank you. The real world, like, you have to be thinking about paying bills. You have to be thinking about raising a kid.
Yeah.
If you can put in time without that at a young age, where you can really put hours and hours into learning a specific thing,
Mhm.
you're, I believe, so much more likely to latch on to it and absorb it.
Who's to say that can't be done?
It can be done at any age.
Yeah,
But I'm
so,
just
okay.
saying that
If you hadn't done it by the time college might be your last opportunity to do it.
not
To live without like any not any regrets, but to live without any like response. And it just depends. Like everyone is different. Some people need to pay their tuition. Some people get scholarships. Like not everyone has it all the same. But college is usually one of those times where, I mean, if you go there and things are set, like yeah, you generally don't have to worry about things. I mean, I would say high school is like the last realm where you truly don't have to worry about things unless you got really strict ass parents. But yeah, no, I is that what you were?
I think, yeah, I feel like that got diluted, or I didn't really. It seemed a lot clearer and more inspirational in my head.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna say this thing next to top it all off, but I just
No, sometimes we
felt
get
like it
those.
fell through.
Maybe that's a sign that we're going a little too long. Yeah, we're an hour in. I just want to say thank you for being a part of my first episode. I would love to have you on every time. I don't know how you feel about it. Like I feel like we vibe pretty well. So yes, if you want a co-host seat, that's
Cool.
yours. But
I'll come up with some game shows.
Yeah.
Activities.
But yeah, no, I just appreciate your time, man. I appreciate your knowledge. I just wanted to like, follow, subscribe to Copy and Steal, to Alex. I know soon you're gonna be doing some initiatives. You got that site that you have with your go get your shirt, your jacket. Yeah. Is it on this thing?
It's
Yeah.
not what I'm.
No, not that one. Yeah. Okay.
Like but I'm working on stuff that is gonna be more visible, and purchasable.
Yeah. Right now everything's bespoke. Right now everything is like custom design, made to order. But you're gearing up. You're ramping up to launch. Got planting little seeds of becoming your own boss.
I got the irons in the fire.
Yeah.
Multiple different
I feel you.
handles all going out in different directions.
Yeah. As for me, we launched copyandstudio.com. You can see our prices there. We have a membership. Again, I am building a studio for others to. It's basically like, think of it like an incubator, but without the idea of me owning anything. I don't want to own your content. I just want to provide a space where you can express yourselves, chase your dream, and I can take the creative as much out of your hand as possible so that you can focus on the other half of the beast of this business, which is SEO. And are you posting at the right times of day? Are you using the right keywords, tag words? Are you splitting up your content enough? Are you like, what's gaining? Like, there's so much to it.
Or they can even find someone else to do that part of it.
Exactly. Like now you can.
I don't think I really want to be doing half of that stuff either.
Yeah, some people don't, but at least with me in your corner, you know that the creative side of things, the workflow side of things, getting shit out is easy here.
Yeah.
It's just hit record and you will leave with a video, with a thumbnail. Things will look legit. Friends will ask, how'd you get that done?
It's happened.
It has happened on numerous occasions. I mean, people even get asked to like, like, hey, can we sponsor you? But yeah, so that's everything about Copy and Steal. This show is called How to Copy and Steal, and we're gonna do exactly that. I mean, at least that's my analogy for it. Wilson, you may have another analogy for the idea of inspiration, starting things, but yeah, I guess that's it. Lastly, Mark, we'll always love you. We'll always miss you. We're gonna keep the memory of you on forever,
alive through each and every one of our projects.
Yep. I
Because
mean,
that's how long his spirit will carry on through each and every project that comes out of a designer whose career he helped mold.
yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. And yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, Alex.
Thank
Peace,
you, Chris.
everybody.